The components of learning, when I put together this concept map, I said to myself, how are all of these things related, right? So, an unagreed upon definition or looking at the components or parts of learning, we're looking at, can our students learn, right? Are they acquiring new skills, level of understanding, knowledge, attention, behavior? Are they able to take different perspectives? So, the components of learning, I think, are linked to all of these things. But if you see how they're linked to the six facets of understanding in Bloom's taxonomy, and then how those two things line up with each other. The six facets of understanding here: self knowledge, empathy, perspective, application, interpretation, and explanation. Although I have them in a list, I don't think they are particularly come in any order, as opposed to Bloom's taxonomy, which starts from the easiest to remember and gets to the more complex skill of creating. And in order to move up, you have to have mastered the one underneath it or before it. So, six facets to me represent factors that lend to true understanding, right? It's not based on what students are able to do, but it helps us gauge where learners are in the learning process. What level of understanding are they at? Um, it's different than Bloom's, I think, because it's possible to show understanding to two or three different facets. They may be able to have self knowledge of what prejudices I'm bringing to a topic, or what prejudice the topic has, and take the perspective of a person, and interpret that, which I think, I can offer translations, and make information, and that would kind of show to me that a student had true understanding. So I think it's different in that sense, where there's no top to bottom in six facets, but in Bloom's there is. It goes from the simplest, starting at the bottom: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. And these are related to the cognitive domain that are listed in order from the easiest at the bottom to the most complex. And in order to move up, you've had to have mastered the previous step. That being said, some of them do lend a good like links to each other. So in order to explain something, provide a thorough supported account, I have to be able to remember. Same thing interpreting something. I want to offer a translation. I need to understand that in order if I'm going to be able to understand something. To apply and apply, application and apply, I think are in and of itself. And if I'm analyzing something, I'm able to show perspective and look at it from different points of view. So evaluate and empathy don't line up 100% in my mind, um, and neither does create and self-knowledge. But I think that they would line up the best if I had to line them up with some of Bloom's things. Okay. Moving over to the SAMR model of technology integration, I included this, linking it to the components of learning because it can help it. And I also linked it to UDL, which is also linked to the six facets, because UDL is something that, although necessary for some, is beneficial for all. So the TAMR model of integration, I think, does line up with Bloom's. So if we're looking at the substitution, if a student is able to, they have to remember something. So if they're able to use technology as a direct tool with no functioning change, I feel like that lines up with remember. Augmentation has some functional improvement that I think if they're able to do that, they understand it. So, right, they're going to offer something, but then they're able to apply it if they can offer some functional improvement. Modification is moving up higher, just like Bloom's moves up higher. So do these steps of the SAMR model. So this is, again, it's something different than the six facets that doesn't go in like a hierarchical order. Modification, significant redesign. So if I can evaluate and analyze something, I'm redesigning it, right? I can redesign it. And redefinition was previously tasks that could not be have done. And that's creating something new. So if I put all these things together, and enhance it with UDL, providing engagement, representation, I think that is really together what the components of learning are. And I think that's what makes sense to me.